Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. Let me check our time here. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and this is show number 97 because
well,
next
98.
week, I'm sorry, 98
Yeah.
because thank you. Next week we'll connect 99 and 100 and just call it the 100 special.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, next week, 1 week from today, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing our 100th Asaph Cafe, so this will be fun, and I got my little ray gun here. On my immediate right, we have Teresa Toigo, who's with us today. Yeah. And on my left, affectionately, our aging rocker Emmett. So we're just going to have fun today.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about science fiction, and Teresa's going to talk about Earth Day and her experience at Salt Lake, and of course we're going to talk about Prince. You want to start us off?
Thank you, Lord, for our time together. Bless our time together in Jesus' name.
And I agree.
Yep.
And on that note, let's start off with a Prince song. I've never played his music. Let's see if I can figure out When Doves Cry.
You know, I forgot. I wanted to also talk about this. Remember on the last show, I couldn't remember the name of that awful cartoon. Now I can't. I remember what it was. South Park.
Oh my goodness, let's not even go there.
That was such a bad show.
Let's not even go there, but yeah, that's a pretty bad cartoon. Let me start out with the Burt Bacharach piece here, just to get warmed up.
The spinning dryer.
Okay, take it away, Emmett.
The spinning dryer. It spins and spins for us today. It dances for us. Dancing dryer, dance for us today. It's a fascinating theorem, like algebra. It's fascinating. I can't think of any more lyrics, but that's fascinating.
Okay, here's verse 2 if you think of something. If you think of something, Teresa, you can just jump right in. I'm no singer, so
yeah, I often do that while I'm doing the dishes or something. I'll have easy listening on, and I make my own lyrics to like the spinning dryer or something, you know. Yeah, the washing machine. I love doing that.
Okay.
I've missed you a lot.
Yeah.
Your dryer song.
Yeah.
That's fun.
You know, I had an interesting dream about a couple of nights ago, kind of a funny dream. I dreamed I was at a talent show in the grocery store. I was in the grocery aisle, and I was at a talent show. I told some joke about an ice cream sundae or milkshake, and I don't remember what it was, but then I started singing, I want to live in a washing machine, it's all I want to do, right there in the grocery aisle, and everyone liked it. I don't remember if I won, but it was a nice dream. It was kind of funny.
I keep a dream journal.
Same here. Yes, I do have several.
Oh,
I have several dream journals, yep.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
My dreams are very vivid, yeah.
So
I can't even remember my dreams. I just wake up like, thank you God for another day. That's about it.
you have to think about it right when you wake up or you'll lose it.
Yeah.
That's why I keep it right by my bed.
Oh, I see. I see. So you feeling all right, Teresa? You all comfortable there?
Oh, yeah.
So, and if you want to switch and can sit on the couch too later, you can if you want to. So I'll leave it up to you. And I'm glad you're back, Teresa.
Yeah.
Glad you're back. Missed you there.
I missed you guys.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you got to be here next week if possible because we're going to do a 2-hour special on Asaph Cafe, and it'll still be called 100 Special, even though we're connecting 99 together.
Yes.
Since this is 2 hours, we'll just call it 100. Put them together. That'd be a lot easier that way, I think. See, I've played my favorite children's song.
No. I want to splash in a coffee cup and live in a washing machine. Yep, I sang that in school all the time in the lunch line. I want to splash in a coffee cup and live in a washing machine. I want to splash in the coffee cup and live in the washing machine.
There you
it's
go.
all I want to do all day is live in a washing machine. It's all I want to do all day is live in a washing machine.
Okay, let's get your ray gun. We got to do this.
Yeah, fascinating. What a concept.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. That Darth Vader
Oh
march.
yeah,
That's called the Darth Vader march.
the Imperial March. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
when that Return of the Jedi first came out, I think I must have had that movie memorized.
Oh yeah,
I worked
do,
at the
yeah.
Art and Theater in California at the time when that
Uh-huh.
first came out, and we had 6 theaters, and they packed everybody in all 6 theaters to see that
Yep.
Return of the Jedi. So by the end of the day, you're just humming at or
Yeah,
in
you
your
are.
head. Can you imagine 6 theaters all showing the Return of the Jedi all
Fascinating.
day long?
Yeah,
I was a doorman at the Art and
the
Theater.
door. Yeah, fascinating.
Man, so I
Wow.
used to greet these kids. And I used to go, "Hi there, hi!" These kids, I can't do it as well as I once could. I was younger then, and I changed my voice. And
Fascinating.
I'm gonna have to switch because I like to look at you.
okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, scoot this way toward me, Emmett. You can scoot toward me. That's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, you're both on camera. You look great.
Okay.
So
Is that
anyway,
too close?
that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
I
fine.
don't want to be in your space.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You have
Well,
to sit
I
close
think-
to show up on camera anyway.
Thing is, I need also to get my food and my drink.
Oh,
too.
sure.
Okay, go ahead. Well, why don't you just put it on the camera here and you can reach it here.
All right, hold on. Hold on. It's my big gulp of soda pop.
Okay, cool. This reminds me, your soda, Star Trek V, the movie Star Trek V.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They had
Never
this
saw
scene
it,
where Dr. McCoy made these beans,
Mm-hmm.
and they were serving Spock these beans, and the secret ingredient was alcohol, was like
Mhm.
rum, scotch. And so Spock's like, I don't recognize the taste of these beans here.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. McCoy says, the secret ingredient is gin, alcohol. am I to assume that your secret ingredient is alcohol? That's what Spock is all logical and trying to figure it out.
Yes.
And then Captain Kirk says, "You got any more of that secret ingredient?" That was so funny.
I don't drink, but I love. Steve made some spaghetti sauce with wine in it,
Mhm.
Yeah, some people do
and
that.
it does. The alcohol
Mhm.
cooks out,
Mhm.
but
I
the
know.
flavor
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
of it's so good.
Well, I think the Italian people do that too. Don't they
Mhm.
cook with
Yes.
gin, not gin, but wine
Wine.
and stuff, like overseas and stuff in
Mhm.
Italy and
I'm
all that?
Italian, so yeah.
I really miss Fat Cat, the buffet we had. There was an Italian pizzeria and pasta place just down on Brooks. I miss it a lot, across the street from the mall. It was a wonderful buffet.
What happened to
They
it?
just closed down. They have the casino still, but they closed the restaurant down. I'm very disappointed.
See if you notice here.
Yes. You know.
Yes.
When
Never
the
cared
moon
for-
hits your eye like a big pizza
Yeah.
pie, that's amore.
Yeah, I never cared
That's
for that
amore.
song. Never.
Really?
Nope, never did.
Did you ever see the show Moonstruck?
I
Never
know
heard
of it. I've not seen it.
It's a romantic comedy with Cher, or not Cher. Yes, Cher.
No, I didn't see it. I don't know that new film.
Que Bella Luna.
Mhm.
And I played the wrong song. I was going to do that other Italian song, the one that goes something like this. Torna Sorrento. Something like that.
One song I hate is Que sera, sera, whatever shall be,
Oh,
shall be.
you're gonna make Doris Day cry. My goodness, you don't like that song?
I don't like the message. I don't believe in whatever shall be, shall be. I think you should change things and change things that are evil. So blasé, whatever shall be. No, I don't.
Well, I understand your point, but I don't think they had that in mind when they wrote that song. I think it was more, because if you look at the context in this, she was a little girl wondering about her future, the little girl. Her mother was trying to comfort her. I think that's the approach they were taking with that when they first wrote that.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, Doris Day, speaking of Doris Day, I think she just turned 95 or something like that.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, she still remembers.
Long may she run.
Yeah, and they're still playing that Que Sera, Sera
Yeah.
song. No, but no, the context is not in what you're thinking.
Oh, okay.
The context is just more comforting a little girl.
I see. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, it was comforting. It was a little girl who was, she probably had her pigtails, just kind of wondering, am I going to be pretty when I get a little older? Boy's going to want to go out with me. That's the context.
Oh, okay, huh.
Yeah, not the other. I know what you're saying, but
Yeah,
it wasn't that at
interesting.
all. Yeah. But Doris Day did a great job on that song. So God bless her. Yeah, I think she's 95, 94, 95, something like that. Just had a birthday. So, she's still looking pretty good for 95.
Yeah. I didn't even know who wrote it. You know, I've just heard the song as that.
No, some composer I probably wrote that song.
Hmm.
So, drink some water here.
Yeah, speaking of age, I was at West Side Lanes last night
Okay.
doing karaoke, and this younger than me guy, he comes up and asks me if I'll watch his drinks or something.
Ooh, that's
And-
a bad idea.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I just made sure that nobody took his drink or whatever.
Okay.
But anyway, he introduced himself, and then he asked me my name. I said, well, everybody calls me Grandma. And he said, no, you couldn't be Grandma. You're about my mom's age. She's 77.
77. Yikes! See, that's why I don't like guessing folks' age. Like some old person walk up like, how would you guess how old I am? I don't like to do that.
Yeah.
Because when you overshoot
I
and they
always
yell at
say
you.
like about 10 years younger than I really think. Just,
Yeah.
I don't
I had that
offend
happen to me
anybody.
recently too. I was playing at the Missoula Senior Center and some elderly person wanted me to guess her age. I said, I really don't want to do that. And this person insisted. This was a few weeks ago. So I picked an age like 50 something
Yeah.
to play it safe.
Well, when
I'm 90! Like, he was like 90 something, so.
But when it comes to younger people at my age, they all look so beautiful with their skin, no blemishes.
I know, but
and
see, I don't like
and I
guessing
think
people's-
I think they're all like 20 years old and they're like 30 or something.
Yeah, I don't like guessing the ages because I've had it happen where I've overshot, like 10 years, and then they look at you all funny and stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyway. But you wanted to talk about Earth Day? Let's start with Earth Day.
Oh, yeah. Well, in Salt Lake, we had a festival that started at my friend Steve Neves started this festival called Earth Jam. It started with one stage which I helped build, and there were local bands would play. It'd start in the morning and go till sunset.
Okay.
It grew to 2 stages with all kinds of vendors and people selling things and food, but the main thing was to teach people how to. We would pass out trash bags in between groups, and everybody would pick up the trash around them. But at the time, we didn't know a lot about recycling, and I'm learning more about it these days.
Where was this at? In Salt Lake City?
Yes, there's a park called Liberty Park.
And that's where they were celebrating it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and they celebrate it to this day.
Oh, I see.
Unfortunately, the founder, Steve, he's a little bit under the weather. Hi, Steve.
I see.
And and 15 years ago, I was with the love of my life at Earth Day in another park, and Irish Dement was playing. It was a cloudy day and cold, so there weren't many people in the park, and we got to, it was like a private show, and there was a lady with a big red-tailed hawk on her. We got to pet the red-tailed hawk.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of birds, you remember that television show Beretta?
No, never did.
Robert Blake, the
Yeah.
detective show of the 70s. He had this cockatoo bird that he used to feed on the show. I got to meet that bird in real life.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I actually met that bird in real life. You okay?
Yeah, it's just one of those allergy type of things. I just need some soda.
Well, let me get some of that. You want me to pour that for you?
Yeah. I don't
I'll
know.
get that for you.
Oh.
There's a tissue right under here. Just take this tissue here if you need it.
Yeah, just this allergy or whatever, this springtime thing, you know?
I'm feeling like Captain Kirk. You got some of that,
Yeah.
some of that secret ingredient.
Yep.
Of course, in this case, it's
Soda pop.
So yeah, I don't drink either. So anyway, you said that Earth Day was in Salt Lake City at the time?
Yes.
Okay. And you actually got to go to that. Cool.
Oh, yeah, I helped build the stage
Oh,
for the
okay.
bands.
Now you didn't finish your story about your love of your life there. You were talking about.
Well, unfortunately, 3 days after Earth Day, 15 years ago, he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I am really sorry to hear
my
that.
love. And so I sang a song for him at karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
You know that song by the Rolling Stones, Angie?
I know of it.
Angie, Angie.
So you actually sang that
I
for
sing.
a tribute to him?
I changed the name to William.
Oh.
William.
These allergies or something.
Well, if you need to be alone and go off camera, you can walk up there and try to clear your throat.
Yeah.
If you can.
Oh,
Why don't
thanks.
you do that?
Oh.
You'll be all right.
I hope so.
Allergies are really bad
I
for
know.
some people, you know. Well, it gives be you and me at the moment till he comes and returns.
That's fine.
This isn't exactly Angie, but it's the Stones.
Painted black, yeah. Dressed in their summer clothes, I have to turn away. The darkness goes. Red down the water, painted black.
This is a more simplified version of Painted Black.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I can't. Did you see that latest concert? Hear about that latest concert the Stones did in Cuba?
Free, right?
500,000 people were there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like.
But if, I mean, I know why.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Stones did not disappoint. They wouldn't disappoint anyway. They sent everybody home smiling.
Right, and Keith Richards is my hero because, like Keith, he and I have been through hell and back, and we're both still alive.
Maybe maybe one day you'll write about that.
I have a lot of stories, but you know, I shouldn't be alive today, and I never would have thought I was going to be on a Harley again at the age of 59.
And you said you were recently on a Harley, and you got the ride.
Yes, it was so great.
Oh, good
And
for
I plan on going all the way down 101.
By yourself on a Harley?
No,
Okay.
no, my friend Lyle has a Harley.
So he was riding you then, right? Cool. good for
No,
you.
I wasn't. I've never driven a Harley. I did own one though.
Very good. You recognize this?
Born to be Wild.
Yeah.
Do you know how to play Magic Carpet Ride?
Something like CC. I don't know how to play that song. Oh, I don't really know how to do that, but that's the first part of that. Born to be Wild. Let's see, I'm gonna try it again.
Get your motor running. Head on the highway.
Yeah.
Looking for adventure. And whatever comes our way.
I don't know how that goes after that part, but then it gets to that part that goes something like that. Missed a note in there somewhere. What was the name of that song you did at the karaoke the other day? Do you remember?
American Woman?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if I can figure it out.
American Woman, Mama let me be.
You want to sing along? Go right ahead. That's all. I'm just trying to
I
figure it out.
can't sing, I just have fun.
That's all I know. I don't know how to play that song, but I was thinking about that. So, well, you did a little bit of it. Oh gosh.
You know what I sing too?
What else did you sing?
Well, I sing a lot of anti-war songs, and I sing,
Well, that's the way it was. What, in the '60s, right? Late
right.
'60s.
I do a lot of 60s songs, but I really like the happy ones. There's a lot of happy ones like the Monkees and
Oh,
Paul
yeah.
Revere and the Raiders. And did you ever see the show?
Yeah, I've got the pilot to the Monkees at home
Really?
with Mickey DeLonge and Davy Jones. Yeah. Let's see. Something like this.
I thought love was always true in fairy tales.
Oh, I'm back. Just some sort of
Yay.
weird allergy attack that I had. All of a sudden, you know. Something. Thanks. Oh.
I'm a believer.
Something like this.
Sorry guys, I just had some sort of weird allergy attack where I just started coughing. Something in the air. It's springtime, you know. I'm better now.
Good. I'm glad. You got a little tissue in case you get in trouble again?
Oh, I didn't bring one. I
Well,
should.
here's one. Just use this one.
All right, thank you. And I think I'll get another one. Hold on.
What's this
Alright.
over here, Emmett? Is this
Oh,
yours?
this is for eyes cleaner.
Okay.
Not eye cleaner, glasses cleaner. Use it.
That's okay. We're just kind of goofing off now because we did the majority of the serious stuff in the other show. And last week we talked about Special Olympics, but a young lady here with her medals.
Oh.
And so
Yeah.
what we did, instead of waiting 2 or 3 weeks from now, she'll be on today. We just switched the order of the cafe so that people connected with Special Olympics will be able to see her. She'll be on. In fact, she'll be on about an hour and a half from now. Today's. You know that girl, the young lady was on last
Yes,
week?
yes,
about Special
yes.
Olympics? I changed the order
Okay.
of the airing, so that show last week will be on today.
All right, fascinating.
So she'll get to see herself.
Well, one of your dudes was one of your dudes, probably one of your dudes, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was involved with the Special Olympics.
Huh.
I did not know that.
Nor did I.
I did not know that.
I loved Conan the
I know
Barbarian and
I
the
know he was
Terminator.
into weightlifting and that sort of thing. And
No, he was involved.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
well, with him it worked. I mean, boy, have you seen those early photographs of Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I've seen Conan the Barbarian,
Look at
yes.
this
I
guy
love it,
was
yeah.
huge,
I haven't
yeah.
seen the early photograph, but I've seen like Conan the Barbarian, which I have on tape, and that kind of thing, and loved it, you know, the Terminator and that kind of thing. I loved the
I did
Terminator.
like the. They had that theme music.
Yeah, it was
something like this.
fantastic. Very well, but I love the Terminator movies.
They just kept playing this rhythm
Yeah,
when he was about to whack someone.
yeah,
That same rhythm on that note.
yeah,
Sedakana.
yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that was an interesting plot line. Did you ever see the Terminator, the first one? I didn't care for the other Terminators, but I did like the first one. I know it was gory and gory kind of thing, but it was this creature, this robot creature from the future that went back to the past
Yeah.
to kill the mother of the son who would grow up to be able to stop the Terminators in the future.
Yep.
See, the Terminators were robots, were bad robots.
Yeah.
So by going back in time and killing the mom, keeping her giving birth to the person that would destroy the robots, then the robots would take over.
Yep.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger was really a robot, and he goes back in the past, he's looking for Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so he didn't know who Sarah Connor was, so he just goes in a phone book, he sees all these Sarah Connors, and he wipes out every person named Sarah Connor in the phone book trying to find the one that he was looking for.
And whoever that person
And when
was.
he finds the real Sarah Connor he was looking for, the Chiefs start fighting back. Like, I'm not gonna let this robot kill me.
Yeah.
So she's like this macho lady.
Oh, she was buff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember?
she was like, I ain't letting this robot kill me. So she fought him back all through that whole.
Yeah. I liked the second Terminator Armageddon or whatever it was called. I liked that too. I liked the second
didn't really see it. I know of it, but I didn't really see it.
And that's where Arnold Schwarzenegger came back as a good machine because they were going after John O'Connor's son, John himself.
Okay, yeah.
And that had the T-1000, I think it was called. And so the Resistance provided a protector for John, and that was an old Terminator reprogrammed to protect John O'Connor, you know. They was to protect him, you know, and they were both fighting then each other and, you know, etc. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines I didn't care for too much. Terminator 4 Salvation was excellent. It was basically what you saw. It was basically, it was in the future, you know, when the machines had taken over and the fight against the machines. That was very good. But I didn't care for this other Terminator, I don't even remember what it was called. It was out a couple of years ago, and I just didn't think it made a lot of sense. But yeah.
Well, I stopped watching the Terminator after the first one. That was enough for me. And I normally don't look at gory films, but I made an exception here because it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, so I wanted to see what he was going to do. But he was slaughtering folks.
I
like
had
that.
an idea who was your guy.
Well, I wouldn't say he's a hero. I just was curious when I looked at that. He wiped out that whole police department. And he's like, he's the who's looking for the sheriff, I think.
Or something. Oh wait, he was looking for again Sarah Connor.
Yeah, he goes, is Sarah Connor here? And the sheriff's department's like, no.
Yeah.
And he just walks off, right?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he drives his car right through the sheriff's station.
I'll
he
be
takes
back.
his big bazooka.
His
like
shows
this
are really
It's like
exciting.
this Gatling gun, right?
Yeah.
It's like this.
Yeah.
And he's like shooting up the whole police department, and just just such gore.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I normally don't look at that. But I made an exception with Arnold Schwarzenegger just to see what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I guess then you would not like the Alien trilogy movies.
Probably not. After that first one, you talking about the first one with Sigourney Weaver?
Yes.
Boy, that was enough for me. After that first one, I was like, I'm done. That's it.
I loved the Alien movies. I did not like Alien versus Predator, and I didn't like, what was that fourth one? Alien 4 Resurrection. That made no sense, you know. But the first three I loved.
After that first one, I was done. When that monster, when the alien was born, its birth, it popped out that guy's chest. After that, I was like, oh my goodness, that's it. I'm out of here.
Yep.
You know?
Was Arnold in that?
No. That was Sigourney Weaver.
And then when that thing grew up and it got in her face like this,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
she has this big. They all got these big cannon guns, like Gatling.
Yeah,
guns.
yeah.
And that alien got in her face.
Yeah.
And with those teeth, I was like, yikes! You
Yeah.
know? And she had like this shaved buzz head. She
Yeah.
was badass is what they
Yeah.
call it. That's the way to describe it.
Yep.
You know, they always got these women play these macho.
I know,
roles.
yeah.
And Sigourney Weaver is perfect. I don't know if she cut her hair in real life for that part, but she had like this. She just looked like this female G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna kill this thing.
Yeah.
And even when that thing got in her face like that, she's like, I'm still gonna kill this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after Terminator 1 and the other one, I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That was enough for me. I mean, I'm not gonna say don't watch it. I'm not gonna tell parents don't take their kids, but
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't
you're
let my
just gonna
kids.
get an earful or an eyeful, I should say, if you.
I wouldn't let my kids watch it. It's too scary for little kids.
Well,
But
yeah,
wait,
you're not gonna take a 3-year-old to
No
watch
way.
that, but That's fun. That's part of science fiction.
Yeah, it is. It is wonderful. Very well done. Very
Yeah,
well
I know
acted.
it was,
Incredible.
and they had a fine cast, so I'm not gonna
Oh, it's
bash
fantastic.
it and say don't watch it. And I don't think it's wrong. It was just too much for me.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Anyway, I was trying to figure that song out. Here we go. Recognize it?
Nope.
I do. Maybe I'm just like my father to both.
That's called When Doves Cry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, isn't that a Prince song? Or no?
Yeah.
I only know one Prince song. Of course, he passed away recently.
I know. Last week.
Yeah. Anyway, there's only one song I know, and it's been ingrained in my brain because I was 16. I had just moved to Missoula. I was kind of babysitting this 8-year-old. It was just kind of lived next door, and we we're kind of friends palling around in the summer. It was during the summer, and he found this tape of Prince on the road or something, and he was playing it on a video audio tape. It was a little party like it's 1999.
Yeah,
dun, dun,
see.
dun, and he was, shaking the tape recording. This is funny,
Yeah.
like it's 19, and he played it over and over and over and over and over again, and it's burned in my brain now.
That was the beginning, something like this.
Yeah, dun, 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 yeah. Dryer.
Something like this.
We got to spin around inside the fascinating dryer.
Something like that.
We've got,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't know how to do the rest of that.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with his music.
Nor am I. That's the only song I know is 1999.
Well, can you imagine a $300 million fortune? That is
Yeah.
mind-boggling.
So,
Even Liberace didn't have that kind of money.
Yeah, yeah.
so what's going to happen to it?
I think they'll figure out a way to
Yeah.
disperse it among his family and so on.
Mhm.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But whatever you thought of Prince, it's sad when anybody passes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we could do a little quick trip.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Well, we've lost so many rock
Yeah.
stars this year.
Actually, this whole 2016, we lost a lot of famous people, more than usual.
Yeah.
That whole generation of the 60s and 70s and
Yeah.
50s are passed on, movie stars.
Yeah.
And it's very sad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we did. We lost an awful lot. Prince
Yeah.
just happens to be the latest one.
Yeah.
Let me figure out Purple Rain here. Let's see.
Yeah, I never saw the movies. I never saw Purple Rain or some of the other movies he made.
Something like this.
Mhm.
It was something like this.
Yeah.
Something like this.
Yeah, we lost David Bowie too.
I know, that was
Oh.
sad.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, we lost him.
But you have to
Mhm.
think about
Mhm.
the contribution.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. I liked Ziggy Stardust. That was by David Bowie.
Yeah.
Ziggy Stardust.
I would
Ziggy
be able
was-
to play that.
Yeah, it was a very good song. I liked it. I have it on tape somewhere. That was a
I'm
very
going to
good.
stop right there. I don't really know how to play that.
Yeah.
That's not really a final song anyway. And I understand Bruce Springsteen recently did a concert singing Purple Rain.
Interesting. Yeah.
His version
Yeah.
in memory of Prince.
Yeah.
But, that unfortunately, that's how death works. It just comes unexpected.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
So, he just left a great legacy for
Yeah.
those people that are into
Yeah.
that kind of music.
Mhm.
I mean, I know he was a fine musician. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think all of his works would work for me, but
Yeah. Yeah.
he still left a
Mhm.
big contribution.
And
David
that
Bowie
song,
and,
1999, is just forever in my
well,
brain.
I did figure out a way to play "Let's Dance."
Was that by Prince?
David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Oh.
I want to dance.
Go ahead if you want.
making a fool of myself.
I know the Ramones.
You can dance along.
The Ramones did a song, Let's Dance. I know the Ramones did a song like that. I wonder if I have that song.
Now we're gonna do the middle part. Something like this. Something like this.
You got it.
Something like this.
How
I just
interesting.
made that up, but that's a feeble.
How
attempt at Let's
interesting.
Dance. Well, it worked for David Bowie.
Yeah.
He just had that look at the time, you know,
Yeah.
that guitar, and
Yeah.
everybody's like rocking and so on.
Both David Bowie and Prince,
Mm-hmm.
their styles, their fashion
Mhm.
would change all the time.
Well, I think these were performers that just kept reinventing
Yes.
themselves.
Yeah.
But they didn't start that. Actually, Liberace started that.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was always reinventing himself every generation or so.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm not saying that Prince and David Bowie were following the footsteps of Liberace, but they did
Yeah.
keep reinventing themselves. So, anyway, that's a smaller tribute to Prince.
Yeah.
And yeah, my condolences to his family, and I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll work everything out. And,
Yeah.
the Bowie family, they're probably still grieving too. So we
Uh-huh.
send our condolences to
Yeah,
them
yep.
too. And all the other famous
Yep.
people, and even non-famous people that have passed on this year. So,
Yeah.
but
Well,
I
didn't-
noticed 2016 was an exceptional year of losing a lot of.
Didn't Earl Haggard pass away? Remember? No.
Earl Haggard, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We lost him, and oh my
That guy
goodness.
from
Yeah.
Ace of Spades, and
Yeah,
and then the guy from the Eagles.
yeah. Glenn Frey, I think was his
Yeah.
name.
Last year we lost Lemmy from Motorhead.
Okay.
Motorhead.
Yeah, I love Motorhead.
Yeah, they sing Ace
So
of
Spades.
Spades.
Yeah. Lemmy
Uh-huh.
is very good.
Boy, time has breezed by. We got about 20 minutes left. That's
Yeah.
amazing. But anyway, I'm getting back to Prince. They'll figure everything out.
Yeah.
And wish his family the best, Bowie's family the best, and all the rest of the people we lost. Well, anyway, get my
Yes. Fascinating. Fascinating.
Yeah. I always do that on Wake Up Mozilla before
Yeah.
we play that game.
Yeah.
Scott Raff has this game called Hallmark or Bullmark,
Uh-huh.
and what he does is he reads a synopsis of a television show, and you have to determine, is that synopsis real, or is that something he's made up?
Huh.
So they call it Hallmark or Bullmark.
Interesting.
And it's a fun little game, and so I play the theme, Nadia's theme, Young and the Restless, while he's reading the story. It's just so fun. We play it maybe once a week or every other week, and you know when they decide to play the game on that Wake Up Mozilla, it's just so fun
Yeah.
to watch him read that.
Yeah.
And then Noel and I try to guess if it's real. And then the studio or the television audience can play along too. They can play on mcat.org and just listen to past shows. and
Interesting.
play for themselves. It's just a fun. Yeah, he just makes up these love stories. It's just so fun. Yeah, I mean he's got quite an imagination because he'd be thinking up stuff you'd be thinking it's real. He's like, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's something I
Yep.
made up. So.
Amazing.
I haven't done this song. No, else do it. Such a beautiful song. I don't normally watch The Young and the Restless, but I've been glancing at it lately. Victor Newman is in jail right now.
Yeah. I always find, like I said, the soap opera is depressing. I had
I
relatives,
know.
you know, and it's like a bad daydream. It's just so depressing, like, you know.
But you get hooked, and You gotta find out what happens the next day.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
It's just all part of entertainment. That's all it is. Everybody has enough sense to know that stuff's not real anyway. It's a beautiful song.
Yeah. Like I've said so many times before, my idea of a soap opera would be like someone moves to some beautiful small town and everything's wonderful. The flowers and trees and just all the good things that come in his life and marriage and being with children and just be so happy and everyone's so happy and that would be the soap opera I would make. That would
that would last about 2 episodes before you're off the air.
Yeah. Because it'd be inspiring to see people so happy, you know, and how having a joyful life. That'd be, I'd tune in, you know.
But wouldn't it be wonderful if we all could think and feel and see things like that?
I know.
Visualize peace and love.
I know.
Maybe one day it would come to pass.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that reminds me, I was watching this episode of Star Trek. It was Star Trek Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
You know the hologram doctor?
Yes.
He wanted to know what it's like to have a human family, right? So he designs this family where all the kids are like, yes, sir, yes, mommy, yes, daddy, and just this unrealistic expectation of what a family was. And that Klingon navigator, she's like, you want to be human? Let me reprogram this for you.
Yeah.
And so she reprograms it, and that family put that doctor through all kinds of stuff that goes on there, like kid rebellion and talking back and all kinds of stuff.
Amazing.
And at the end of that episode, that doctor knows what it was like to have a human family.
Yeah.
He thought it was just this like all perfect,
Yeah.
nothing ever goes wrong, food is perfect. No.
Yeah.
That Klingon navigator set that reprogram up and it was something. It was so believable. I mean, it would be ideal to have a soap where nothing goes wrong, but you would have an audience because we as human beings have that bad side of us, and we like to feed into that.
Yeah.
So they want to see some juicy stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to Young and the Restless, Victor Newman. I didn't see it from the beginning, so I don't know why he's in jail. I just happened to notice he was behind bars, and he was still scheming like he always does. So I don't know. Amazing. 40 years that show's been on the air.
Amazing.
Young and the Restless has been on for over 40 years?
Yeah.
Aren't those all the, like General Hospital and
General Hospital. Well, All My Children I think is off the air now.
I thought General Hospital was off the air.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that was on that in real life for something like the last 3 or 4 years of the show. She was, well, I won't say her last name. Her name was Alicia in real life. I won't say her last name, but she played you remember Sonny, the rich guy on General Hospital?
No, I never hardly watched it, you know.
Well, Sonny had this housekeeper, like this maid housekeeper, Hispanic-looking housekeeper, and that was my friend Alicia. She was on there.
Interesting.
She was on there all the time.
Yeah.
On that show.
I didn't even like Dallas. Remember the Dallas JR? I didn't even like Dallas, you know. Yeah, that was on in the 80s, and that was a very popular show.
I got hooked on it.
And then they would figure out who shot JR. I just found that depressing too, you know.
That theme.
Yeah, did you ever watch Dallas?
I didn't care for
Nor
it.
did I, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But no, that was a show that if I tuned in and started watching, I'd pay attention to it. But it was a show that I could live with or without.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to pick on Larry Hagman. He was a fine actor. I liked him when I Dream of Jeannie. Anyway,
Oh, I loved that
he
show.
was so
I never cared for that show either.
he was so funny in that. I mean, I've got the entire season 1 of I Dream
Whoa.
of Jeannie. That came my way since I saw you last, and it's in color.
Yep.
I have the colorized version of I Dream
Interesting.
of Jeannie. Yeah, the pilot. See, in the pilot, the synopsis, you know, Major Nelson, he was going to do a mission up in space, and they shot him off in a rocket, and something went wrong with the rocket, and he winds up on this island all by himself trying to get help, and there was this mysterious bottle that he noticed, and he just had to wipe it off and pull the cork out, and Jeannie pops out.
Yeah.
She's like hot. She's
Yeah.
really hot, right? But she couldn't speak English in this pilot.
Oh.
And so there was no way for this Jeannie to communicate with Major Nelson. And he goes, "Boy, I sure wish you could speak English." All of a sudden, she starts speaking English, and then they were able to communicate.
Oh, interesting.
And at first, he was going to set her free. He says, "Okay, I'll let you out the bottle. Have a nice life. I'm going back home." But Jeannie didn't want to go home, so she pops herself back in the bottle, and she rolls the bottle onto this little bag. And when Major Nelson gets rescued, he goes home, he pulls the stuff out, he sees that Genie bottle. And
Yeah.
That's how the series started.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then at first, Genie's family, because they're like these genies from the Middle East, you know.
Mhm.
They wear those little turban hats.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the whole, they just made this Major Nelson's life miserable because they wanted him to marry her. He didn't want to marry her, so that's how the series starts out.
Yeah, keep the woman in a bottle.
No, he would always
Only
let her
bring her-
out. He would
only
always let her
bring
out of the
her
bottle and try to set her free, but she wouldn't leave.
Oh, I
So
thought he was always putting her back in the bottle.
He would on occasion when he had like a girlfriend trying to come over because Jeannie would be trying to offset the
See,
date.
that's
I
bad.
know. But it was a fun show. You know
Yeah.
what my personal favorite episode of I Dream and Jeannie
What?
was? The one where Jeannie plays the piano. Did you ever see that one?
Nope, never saw it on Dream of Jeannie. Never watched it.
I gotta tell you about this. This is a good one. Jeannie, okay, you know when you want to become a concert pianist, like
Yeah.
say Van Cliburn or Liberace, you know how you practice and practice
Yes.
and practice and practice?
Uh-huh.
So, Jeannie knew that Major Nelson wanted to play the piano, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of him putting the long hours in, Jeannie blinks the piano as though the piano did all the practice. So whoever sits in front of that piano instantly becomes like Liberace. They become a virtuoso. And so they had this little red spinet piano at the base. And Major Nelson just happens to sit there and he didn't know that Jeannie had blinked the piano, right? So all the Air Force guys come around, "Come on, play something." And Major Nelson's like, "The only thing I know how to play is chopsticks, right?"
Yeah.
And he couldn't even play that, see? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he sits down and all of a sudden he just turns into this instant virtuoso,
Wow.
right?
Uh-huh.
And he's playing and he couldn't figure out why he could play all of a sudden and so all the people at the base didn't know that either. They just say, "Hey, we're gonna book you in Carnegie Hall." The generals saw that, like, forget flying rockets, we're gonna send you to New York. So they sent him to New York, right?
Yeah.
And they had this scene where, you know, if Jeannie gets trapped in something, she can't get out till somebody lets her out, right? So Jeannie shows up at the base after Major Nelson does this outrageous concert on that little spinet piano, and then she tells him that she blinked the piano, so whoever sits in front of that piano will become a virtuoso.
Yeah.
So Major Nelson couldn't let anybody sit in front of that piano, otherwise his
Yeah.
cover would have been blown. So what happens is he gets booked for New York, right?
Right.
And they had this big 9-foot like Liberace piano waiting for him on stage. And it wasn't the red piano, so that means he's not going to be able to play.
Oh.
So everybody's at Carnegie Hall, he walks out there and he's playing chopsticks and he butchers even chopsticks. It was so funny. Everybody's like, "What happened to him? How come he's not playing the Chopin and stuff?"
Yeah.
And so he plays, Major Nelson plays it out and goes, "Wait just a minute," you know. And he walks off stage and he's looking for Jeannie and she's like trapped in this
Yeah.
little safe. She got trapped in the safe, so she had to blink the whole safe over to where he was, and he lets her out, and they roll out that red piano, and they move that concert grand piano.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's Van Cliburn again and Liberace all combined up.
Yeah.
And everybody likes it. But the reason I like that because they had this scene in there before he gets to Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
This little African American boy gets control of the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Now he doesn't know that the piano is a magic piano.
Yeah.
And so Major Nelson and Jeannie were trying to get the piano back, and this little boy was gonna just milk it and see how much money he could get out of them for selling the piano.
Yeah.
And so Major Nelson and Jeannie and Major Healy, they're like, "Little boy, we'll give you $100 for that piano." And the kid's like, "Look at the chassis on this piano. You want to take advantage of a little kid, a little minority kid?" It was just so funny.
Yeah.
So they kept, "Well, how about 150? And he's like, "Come on, look at the paint job." So they kept upping the price, and this little boy was trying to get as much money out of them as he could. And so then Jeannie takes a little boy aside, and says, "You don't really want that piano, do you?" And the little boy goes, "No." but I want to get as much money out of them as I can.
Yeah.
Now, if it were a trumpet, they wouldn't have a chance. So Genie walks away and blinks this trumpet. So they hand him this money and here's this trumpet. And so this kid finally lets him have the piano. All of a sudden he turns into like Doc Severs and he's like, you know, he's like playing all this real fast stuff. It was just so funny.
Now,
Interesting.
how old were you when you saw that?
Well, when I first saw that, oh gosh, I might have been about junior high, maybe something like that when I first saw it.
It's funny because you started out on the trumpet and now
Mhm.
you're a piano player.
Yeah, well, I knew how to play the piano all along before I took trumpet lessons when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
See, the story on the piano, I don't know if you know that. Okay, we still got some time. My father used to drink gin when we lived overseas in Taiwan. And then when we got back to Virginia, Langley Air Force Base, whenever my father would drink, he'd leave the house and come home with something brand new, like towels, lamps, whatever. Just every time he'd leave the house. And so after we got back from Taiwan, we were living, he was stationed in Langley Air Force Base in Hampton, Virginia. And one day he was drinking a whole lot that morning, and he left the house and came home with a brand new piano. That's how the whole thing started. That's a true story. And my birth mom had a fit. She started crying. She's like, what are we going to do with this piano? And we had this brand new piano in our home, and nobody knew how to play. So my mom was too poor to have it taken back, so she just had to start taking care of the piano. And I started messing around with it, and then when we moved to California, that's when I started getting music lessons. And I
look at you now.
picked the trumpet.
Yeah.
And now I do it full time. But that's funny how life works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Mhm.
So I guess we should start winding down here soon. We got about 5 more minutes left. But time just goes by.
Yes, it
But
does.
anyway, getting back to that episode of I Dream of Jeannie, when I first saw it with that little kid playing that trumpet like Doc Severs, it was so funny. He just turned into an instant virtuoso.
Yeah.
And the reason his mom didn't want him to have a trumpet, because the little boy says, well, I want to play the trumpet, but my mom says it smashes your teeth in.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It was just the funniest episode to me.
Well,
And of course-
I like Bewitched too. You know, speaking of magical shows.
Yeah, I didn't care for that show, but I
Nor did I,
did.
yeah.
I did like, well, there were a couple other shows. I wouldn't call them magical, but they were just fun. You know, they had a lot of fun shows in those years. They were just, well, they're probably corny by today's standards, but they were fun.
It's like the shows in the 60s were so clean and
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
the
what I liked
music.
about them. And I know they seem corny by today's standards, but that's because
Yeah.
television has taken such
Right.
a
Yeah.
turn.
Even the music was happy and, you know,
Yeah.
most of it was
Well,
happy.
you know, that's what I appreciate about MeTV, because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
play all those clean shows, and even the spy shows are clean in comparison.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not picking on Law and Order. I like Law and Order, but it's pretty graphic though,
Yeah.
compared to
Oh, yeah.
say I Spy with Bill Cosby and Robert Culp, or some of those other shows of the past. And I used to watch Man from U.N.C.L.E. That was pretty cool. Robert Vaughn.
Never cared for it, no.
And I also liked, let's see if I can figure it out. You recognize it?
Nope.
The Saint.
Oh, I never watched that
I
either.
loved it.
There it is. Something like that. Well, it was a theme song. Roger Moore was really smooth in that. I liked him better in The Saint than I did when he was James Bond. But
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. So, any final things you guys want to say? Because we're out of time.
Can't think of anything.
Teresa? Any final
Peace,
thing?
love, and happiness to everyone.
Well, anyway, let's make some final acknowledgments. See, this whole hour went by real quick. I tried to extend it out.
Yeah.
Because next week will be our 100th episode. We're going to do our 100th episode of Asaph Cafe next Thursday, good Lord willing. So on my left, we have our aging rocker Emmett, and of course Teresa Toiga also. And Teresa, thanks for coming again. I'm glad you're back, and
It was really nice.
it was
Thank
fun
you
to
for
have you
having
back.
me.
And I hope you'll be here next week for that 100th
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, I hope to be here.
Yeah, we're gonna do a 2-hour special. We'll just connect show number 99 and so on.
Yeah.
So, thanks guys. Until our next show, and tune in next week for the 100th Asaph Cafe. Until our next show, Maranatha. And I always freeze on that chord there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys make yourself at home, and I'll
Thanks.
set everything up.
Okay.